A senior US Democrat has laid out a possible timeline for impeaching President Donald Trump. James Clyburn said the legal text could be voted by the House as early as Wednesday, but it could be several months before the articles are delivered to the Senate. In Kyrgyzstan, voters have cast their ballot in one of the most polarizing elections. Exit polls are showing that the nationalist politician Sadir Zaporov received 79.1% of the vote in the snap presidential election. At least 15 people have been killed by an airstrike in Afghanistan, despite ongoing peace talks between the government and the Taliban. The attack took place in the southwestern province of Nimruz on Saturday. There are reports from the Democratic Republic of Congo that at least 6 rangers have been killed in Virunga National Park. It's not clear who carried out the killings in the volatile North Kivu region.
World leaders and allies have expressed shock over Wednesday's violence in Washington, D.C., where rioters supporting President Donald Trump attacked the U.S. Capitol building. President Trump says there will be an orderly transition of power after Congress approved Electoral College votes for President-elect Joe Biden early Thursday. A group of military officers enter Ghana's parliament after an apparent dispute between the ruling and opposition parties. Lawmakers are to be sworn in Thursday. And Japan declares a state of emergency for Tokyo and 3 nearby areas to control rising coronavirus cases.
The Labor Department's December employment report shows a decline of 140,000 jobs, marking an end to 7 months of job growth amid rising COVID infections and new restrictions on businesses. The unemployment rate held steady at 6.7%. The leisure and hospitality industries lost nearly 500,000 jobs. Gains in retail, manufacturing, and construction offset some of those losses. The Paycheck Protection Program, that's the government's pandemic small business loan program, will reopen on Monday. The scaled-down relaunch is geared mostly toward businesses with 300 or fewer employees who've already received a loan and can demonstrate need for another. And the UK's health regulator authorized the widespread use of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. The shot, which is already being rolled out in the US, will be available in the UK in the spring as production ramps up. Britain is the first Western nation to have cleared 3 vaccines. It's aiming to vaccinate about 2 million people a week in an effort to protect those most vulnerable. We'll have a lot more coverage of the day's news on the WSJ's What's News podcast.
We start here in Japan. The greater Tokyo area is into the first weekend under the latest state of emergency. Officials of the Tokyo metropolitan government say 1,494 new coronavirus infections were confirmed in the capital on Sunday. It's the 6th day in a row the daily number of confirmed infections has exceeded 1,000, and the first time for a Sunday. There are currently 128 seriously ill patients, or 1 less than the record of 129 marked on Friday and Saturday. The state of emergency for Tokyo and the neighboring prefectures, Saitama, Chiba, and Kanagawa, went into effect on Friday. Residents are being asked to refrain from non-essential outings after 8 p.m., and opening hours have been shortened at pubs and restaurants. As a result, many people want to bring home some tasty treats. Some gathered at a department store holding an event selling delicacies from Hokkaido, northern Japan. It's difficult to travel there at the moment.
I wanted to eat something nice at home instead of dining out.
In Saitama Prefecture, entrance exams for private junior high schools began on Sunday. To prevent infections, the school checked the temperatures of candidates at the entrance. The desks in the classrooms had protective panels. This school has nearly 10,000 applicants. It divided the first round of exams over 2 days to prevent crowding.
I had to study a lot at home due to the pandemic. Sometimes it was difficult to concentrate. This is my first exam, and I do my best.
NHK looked at the number of people out on Tokyo streets on Saturday night by using data from an IT firm. It shows there were roughly half the number of people passing through Shibuya's Scramble Crossing than on weekends last month. But that is still nearly 3 times the number seen during the state of emergency last year. Meanwhile, the health ministry says 4 people who arrived at Haneda Airport on January 2nd were infected with a new coronavirus variant different from those found in Britain or South Africa. Officials say they had been in the Brazilian state of Amazonas. Around the country, officials reported more than 6,000 new cases on Sunday. That brings the total to more than 289,000. Over 4,000 people have died. A research team based in Britain says an arthritis drug developed in Japan can significantly improve the survival rate of critically ill COVID-19 patients. Researchers from Imperial College London and elsewhere reported their findings from a clinical trial of the rheumatoid arthritis drug Actemra, which is also known as tocilizumab. They say the mortality rate was nearly 36% for about 400 patients in a control group receiving standard care, but it was reduced by more than 7 points to 28% for about 350 people who received the drug. Actemra was developed by Japan's Osaka University and Chugai Pharmaceutical, among others. The drug is expected to help inhibit the overreaction of the immune system. The British government said on its website that it encourages the use of the drugs to treat COVID-19 patients in intensive care units. Britain's Queen Elizabeth and her husband Prince Philip have been vaccinated against COVID-19. The inoculation of the royals came as the country recorded a total of more than 80,000 deaths from the virus. Buckingham Palace said on Saturday that the 94-year-old Queen and her 99-year-old husband received their shots at Windsor Castle, and that the Queen decided to make it public. British media reported that their being vaccinated could help eliminate some public concerns and skepticism. As of Saturday, Britain had 12 straight days on which more than 50,000 new cases were recorded. The number of hospital admittances is rising. Some hospitals in England had to send new patients to other medical centers as they couldn't handle the surge. The British government is speeding up the vaccine rollout while urging people to stay home via messages on television, radio, and the internet. U.S. tech company Apple has announced the suspension of the social networking app Parler on its platform. The software is believed to be widely used by supporters of President Donald Trump. Apple said in a statement, "There is no place on our platform for threats of violence and illegal activity." It also said Parler has not taken adequate measures to address the proliferation of these threats to people's safety. Major IT firm Google has also suspended the distribution of Parler apps, citing its imminent threat to society. The company says that app users continue to post messages inciting violent acts. Some American media claim that Parler is used by many conservatives, including Trump supporters. They say messages were also exchanged via the social network regarding Wednesday's storming of the Capitol in Washington. The incident left 5 people dead. U.S. media report that Vice President Mike Pence is planning to attend the inauguration of Joe Biden as president on January 20th. Outgoing presidents have historically attended inaugurations to congratulate their successors, but Donald Trump said on Friday he wouldn't attend. Pence co-chaired the certification of the election results by Congress on Wednesday. He rejected Trump's demand that he not certify Biden's victory, saying he didn't have the authority. Trump has been criticized by members of the Republican Party and his own administration for his role in last week's Capitol unrest. Biden said Pence would be welcome to attend his inauguration. He called Trump an embarrassment to the country. North Korea's state-run media is reporting that the ruling Workers' Party has clarified the importance of powerful defense capabilities. Korean Central Television said the party had adopted a resolution on amendments to the rules on Saturday, the 5th day of the party's Congress. The report says the revised preface adds the need for steadily bolstering the armed forces of the republic politically and ideologically and in military technique. It says powerful defense capabilities would contain military threats and safeguard the stability and peaceful environment of the Korean Peninsula. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un earlier announced a policy of strengthening nuclear and missile development. His remarks came days before the inauguration of U.S. President-elect Joe Biden. The New Year Grand Sumo Tournament kicked off in Tokyo on Sunday without 65 wrestlers who either tested positive for the new coronavirus or were in close contact with those who did. The Japan Sumo Association opened the first tournament of this year with a cap of 5,000 spectators to follow the requirements under the state of emergency. The head of the association apologized for the concerns caused by the infection of multiple wrestlers. He vowed to take measures to reduce risks.
The association has been taking detailed and thorough preventive measures to ensure people can enjoy themselves without worry. We will do our best to make this tournament worthy of the year's first event and measure up to fans' expectations.
Food and drinks are banned at the venue, and the association is limiting the number of people who can enter the eating area at one time. Ozeki champion Taka Keisho aims to be promoted to the highest rank of Yokozuna. He faced off against Mitakeumi. Taka Keisho pushes against Mitakeumi again and again, but is finally forced back. Mitakeumi seizes the chance to push Taka Keisho out of the ring.